One of the most anticipated song releases, Devil by a Different Name, has just become available from Lacey J. Dalton. And Lacey J. Dalton just had a birthday about a week ago. Lacey is very much the image of what a female outlaw is in country music, and she explains the distinction.
When I was signed by Billy on the strength of a song called Crazy Blue Eyes, I was signed as an outlaw. And because I was signed as an outlaw, I was able to do what a lot of us girls didn't get to do. I got to open shows for long periods of time with people like Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard and Hank Williams Jr. in these huge stadiums for a year and a half with kind of a big Southern rock sounding band. And I got to go exactly where I wanted to go in country music, because though I was raised in a country music family, when I came of age and started playing my own music, I fell in love with Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and Janis Joplin and the New Riders of the Purple Stage and the Jefferson Airplane and those kinds of bands. And what brought me back to country music and made me love it again were Waylon and Willie and the Boys. And I got to be signed as an outlaw because my music was very much influenced by that music. I had some really wonderful adventures. I got to be the only woman on Willie Nelson's Half Nelson CD, which, went platinum. And I mean, it was, with folks like Santana and Ray Charles and people from Julio Iglesias, people from all directions of music. And I was very proud to be on that and to be the only woman included on it.
The song release I referred to here is what she was working on completing when we talked about a year or so ago, and is now available on all music download platforms. Here's what she said over the project then.
In my new song, The Devil by a Different Name, I say, I am a woman, I am strong, but I've been told that I am less than for so long. That's the new song. It's called The Devil by a Different Name, and it says, call me left wing, call me right. We are split right down the middle in this fight. Divided we fall. That rule don't change. It's just, we're the devil by a different name, boys. It's the devil by a different name. It says, call me brown-skinned. Call me white. It's not the color of our skin that makes us right. When if somebody tells you we're not the same, that's a devil by a different name, boys. A devil by a different name. We have got to grow out of this stupid racism and this world is not a child anymore.
Yeah.
And those of us who call ourselves Christians, for heaven's sakes, what he said was, he came here and what he said was, love God with all your heart, mind, and spirit, love yourself, which is the big deal, that's the hardest thing of all, and love your neighbor as yourself, and that is the whole of the law, and all the rest of the laws of life were built upon that. And that's what I came to teach. All the rest of the laws of life are built upon that law. Love God with all your heart, mind, and spirit. Love yourself. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your neighbor. That's the bottom line. We have to grow up. It's time to grow up. We're hurting our world by not growing up. We know better, and it's time for us to begin to act like that.
Here's the radio premiere of Lacey J. Dalton's new song release, as classic as it is destined to be. It's just a devil by a different name. Classic Country Saturday Night.
Call me whiskey, call me wine, call me cocaine or codeine, call me power, call me fame. I'm just the devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different name. Call me left wing, call me right. We are split right down the middle in this fight. Divided we fall, that rule don't change. It's just the devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different name. This wicked world is dancing with the devil in the wild and crazy hurdy-gurdy dance. Caught up in the frenzy and the revel, there's a dreadful price to pay for this romance. Call me imam, call me priest. We are brothers separated by belief, but a loveless faith is a ball and chain. It's just the devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different name. They call me brown skin, call me white. It's not the color of our skin that makes us right. When somebody tells you we're not the same, that's just the devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different name. There's a still small voice that whispers deep inside us. Listen close and you might hear it say, there's a light still out here shining in the darkness. It'll be here when you find you've lost your way. So call me gay, boys, call me straight. Must we stare across this chasm filled with hate? If they say we're wrong, we should be ashamed. That's just the devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different name. And this wicked world is dancing with the devil in a wild and crazy hurdy-gurdy dance, caught up in the frenzy and the revel. There's a dreadful price to pay for this romance. I am a woman, I am strong, but I've been told that I am less than for so long. Eve ate an apple, they say we're to blame. That's just the devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different name, boys. Devil by a different, devil by a different, devil by a different name.
Love it, love it, love it. And happy birthday, Lacey J. Dalton from Classic Country Saturday Night.